My name is Javier, and I come from a small, picturesque town in Spain called Toledo. Nestled on a hill overlooking the Tagus River, Toledo is known for its rich history, medieval architecture, and warm, welcoming people. It's a place where time seems to stand still, and life moves at a leisurely pace. But as much as I love my hometown, I've always dreamed of something bigger, something beyond the narrow cobblestone streets and the familiar faces. My dream is to study in London, the vibrant capital of England. London is a city that never sleeps, famous for its iconic landmarks like Big Ben, the Tower of London, and the London Eye. I want to see these places with my own eyes, immerse myself in the culture, and improve my English. I believe London is the perfect place to achieve these goals. Toledo is a peaceful town with a rich cultural heritage. Its ancient walls, Gothic cathedrals, and winding alleyways tell stories of centuries past. I've lived here my entire life, and it's a place I hold dear to my heart. Every day, I attend school, where I enjoy learning and spending time with my friends. In my free time, I love playing football, reading books, and watching movies. But no matter what I'm doing, my thoughts often drift to London. I imagine myself walking along the Thames River, exploring world-class museums, and attending a prestigious school. The idea fills me with excitement and hope. However, there's one obstacle standing in my way: my parents. One evening, I sat down with my parents in our cozy living room. The room was filled with the familiar scent of my mother's paella and the soft hum of the radio playing in the background. I took a deep breath and said, "Mama, Papa, I need to talk to you about something important." They looked at me with curious expressions, and my mother asked, "What is it, Javier?" I hesitated for a moment, then said, "I want to study in London. I want to go there next year." My mother's eyes widened in surprise, and she replied, "But Javier, London is so far away. It's a huge city, and it can be dangerous." My father nodded in agreement, adding, "We worry about you, hijo. You're safe here in Toledo. Life is predictable, and we know you're surrounded by people who care about you." I understood their concerns. London is far from home, and it would be a significant change for me. But I felt ready to take on the challenge. I explained, "I know it's far, and I know it's a big city, but I'll be careful. I want to learn, grow, and see the world. This is my dream." My parents exchanged a glance, and for a moment, the room was silent. Then my mother spoke softly, "We love you, Javier. We want you to be safe, but we also want you to be happy." My father added, "This is a big decision. We need some time to think about it." I felt a glimmer of hope. I knew they were worried, but they also wanted what was best for me. I smiled and said, "Gracias, Mama y Papa. I promise I'll be careful." That night, as I lay in bed, my mind was filled with thoughts of London. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was determined to work hard and follow my dream. I felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, but mostly, I felt ready. London, here I come. I was overjoyed when my parents agreed to consider my dream. I knew it was a big decision for them, but I was ready to prove that I could handle it. I wanted to go to London more than anything, and I began to plan my journey. One day, I shared my dream with my best friend, Carlos. Carlos and I have been inseparable since we were kids. We play football together, go to school together, and share almost everything. When I told him about my plan to study in London, his face lit up with excitement. "That's amazing, Javier," he said. "I've always wanted to visit London too. What if we went together? We could be study partners." The idea thrilled me, and we immediately started making plans. First, we needed to get our passports. A passport is a small booklet that allows you to travel to other countries. We went to the local government office and applied for ours. When we finally held them in our hands, we felt a surge of excitement. Next, we needed to buy plane tickets. We spent hours searching online for the best deals and eventually found affordable tickets to London. Using our savings, we booked the flights. It would be my first time on a plane, and I felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. We also needed a place to stay in London. After some research, we found a small apartment near the school we planned to attend. It wasn't luxurious, but it was cozy and within our budget. We were thrilled to have a place to call home in London. With our passports, plane tickets, and apartment secured, we began packing our bags. We made a list of everything we needed: clothes, books, toiletries, and some snacks for the journey. As we packed, we talked about all the things we wanted to see and do in London. The excitement was palpable. My parents, though still worried, supported my decision. On the day of our departure, they hugged me tightly and said, "Be careful, Javier. Stay safe, and remember we're always here for you." I promised them I would be careful and call them every day. Carlos and I were bursting with excitement as we headed to the airport. Our adventure was about to begin. The day had finally arrived. Carlos and I stood at the airport, our bags packed and our hearts racing with anticipation. After saying goodbye to our families, we checked our luggage and received our boarding passes. The airport was bustling with people. Some excited, some tired, and some rushing to catch their flights. We waited at the gate, talking about our new life in London and the school we would attend. Neither of us had ever been on a plane before, and we felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. When it was time to board, we walked onto the plane and found our seats. I sat by the window, and Carlos sat beside me. As the plane took off, I looked out the window and watched the ground grow smaller and smaller. The feeling of flying was incredible, and I couldn't stop smiling. The flight was long, but we passed the time by talking, reading, and watching movies. The flight attendants were kind and brought us food and drinks. For a while, everything was perfect. Then, about halfway through the flight, the plane began to shake. It was turbulence, and it scared both of us. Carlos and I held hands, trying to stay calm. The shaking eventually stopped, and we felt relieved. As we looked out the window at the clouds and the endless blue sky, our excitement returned. We were getting closer to London. When the plane finally began its descent, I saw the city below. It was a sprawling sea of lights, and my heart raced with anticipation. The plane landed smoothly, and we stepped off, eager to begin our new life. After collecting our bags and going through customs, we took a taxi to our apartment. The city was alive with energy, people walking, cars honking, and the sound of music filling the air. we were finally in London. The next morning, Carlos and I woke up early, eager to explore the city. We had a map of London and a list of places we wanted to visit. Our first stop was Big Ben. Seeing it in person took my breath away. It was even more magnificent than I had imagined. We took countless photos and marveled at the view from the top. Next, we visited the Tower of London, where we learned about the city's rich history. The tower was filled with stories of kings, queens, and ancient battles. After the Tower of London, we walked to the London Eye. The giant Ferris wheel offered stunning views of the city, and we spent hours taking in the sights. As we wandered through the city, we stumbled upon charming pubs, bustling markets, and beautiful parks. Everything was new and exciting, and we felt like explorers discovering a new world. However, our adventure took an unexpected turn when we got lost. The streets of London were a maze, and we took a wrong turn, ending up in an unfamiliar neighborhood. We felt a little scared but decided to ask for help. A kind woman pointed us in the right direction, and we eventually found our way back to our apartment. It was a reminder that even in a big city, there are always people willing to help. Our time in London wasn't without its challenges. One day, while exploring the city, Carlos accidentally left his bag on a bus. It contained his wallet, passport, and other important items. We were both panicked but decided to stay calm. We reported the lost bag to the police and retraced our steps, hoping to find it. Though it was a stressful experience, it taught us the importance of being careful and looking out for each other. A few weeks later, Carlos had a minor accident while riding a bike in a park. He fell and hurt his leg, requiring a visit to the hospital. Thankfully, it wasn't serious, but it was a reminder that life in a big city comes with its share of risks. I stayed by Carlos's side, helping him recover and ensuring he had everything he needed. The experience brought us closer and made us realize how much we relied on each other. Despite the challenges, we continued to explore London and make the most of our time there. We started school, made new friends, and immersed ourselves in the culture. Every day brought new experiences and lessons, and we grew stronger together. London was everything I had dreamed of and more, and I knew I had made the right decision in pursuing my dream. As I look back on our journey, I'm filled with gratitude for the experiences we've had and the lessons we've learned. London has become a second home to me, and I know that no matter where life takes me, I'll always carry a piece of it in my heart.